What up, Facebook Live? So I am here doing my full review of The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama. I decided to switch things up a little bit, do a review outside. If I'm squinting, it's because the sun is in that direction, which I was told is the correct way to do lighting when you're doing a video, so that there's not a big ball of fire behind me blocking out anything y'all can see. So if I squint, I apologize. We'll see how this goes and whether or not I'll do more outside book reviews. But, so, oh goodness, that was a bad idea. I won't hit the table anymore. Okay. So, with regards to the book, first things first, first impressions. When I first poor wireless, okay. When I first picked it up, reading the first couple chapters, I was expecting this huge, insightful, big, like, hit in the face moment reading these books. Like, oh my gosh, why didn't I ever think of this before? This is crazy. Of course you're the Dalai Lama. But it was a humbling experience getting into this book. And at first, reading the chapters, like, I know this stuff. This is simple. This is obvious. This is like how to be a good person. But if you approach it with a humble attitude, you can see that his lessons are truly life-changing, and they do come from a very high place of knowledge, meditation, reflection. So if you are going to start reading this book, it may take a little while to get over that hump of, I know this already, why should I waste my time? I promise it'll hit you probably around the third chapter where you're like, okay, I need to actually sit down and contemplate what he's saying and apply it to my life. So, some of the main points in this book that I've really enjoyed was how he talked about our natural mindset is compassion, and compassion towards human beings. A lot of people say, oh, we are naturally angry, we're hostile, we're territorial. You know, you look at animals and territorial over females, over partners, children, food. But as humans, our natural state of being is compassion, compassion for others. Now he's a Buddhist monk, so he ties in a lot of Buddhist principles, but I would not say this book is religiously exclusive to anyone who is practicing Buddhism. I think these principles he brings is applicable to anybody despite your religious belief. Some of them I really enjoyed learning about. Actually, I want to kind of dive in more into the Buddhist principles when I find more books about it later down the road. But some of these principles are that everyone experiences suffering, and everyone, it's just a part of life. So when you do suffer, when you do have a setback, it's okay. It's a part of life. You learn from it. You grow from it. Another thing that I really enjoyed, I don't remember if it's exactly originated from Buddhism, but how our positive state of being should be used to combat negative mindsets. So, say you hate somebody, you hate something, that's a moment for you to foster patience and tolerance. A lot of people that have experience in Christian religions knows the whole phrase, love thy enemy. He touches into this, how you should love your enemies because they give you opportunities to grow. They give you opportunities to foster patience, to view it from their point of view, their perspective. So I really appreciated that part of the book. Now getting more into how the book is written. So it is written by Howard C. Cutler, lower power mode, excuse me. Oh goodness. Okay. It is written by Howard C. Cutler, who is a psychologist, I think. And how he writes this book is he had several interviews with the Dalai Lama, and he also attended several talks that he actually gave in Tucson, Arizona. And through these talks, he brings up different topics. So each chapter is a different topic on how to attain this art of happiness, how to obtain happiness, fulfillment in your life. And he'll bring up the topic, and he'll talk about how the Dalai Lama himself conversed about it. And then he dives into deeper examples, deeper meanings behind it. So I think he did a really great job using his experience as a psychologist to approach these mindsets and approach these different sort of topics that the Dalai Lama brings up in everyday life, in his talks, things of that nature. So I'm trying not to make this review too long. I could talk for hours about this book. Like I said, I highly recommend, if I haven't said it already, I highly recommend this book to anyone interested in, who's going through a struggle, or who, everyone struggles, so who has experienced a struggle or wants to become happier. I think this is definitely a book that can get you to that point. It is definitely starting. It's not going to change everything in one day, as nothing does. Actually, one of the parts he talks about in this book is how major changes are made through years and years and years of application of different principles and different mindsets. So this is a good starting place. This is a good stepping stone. This is something you use as a guide. But one, I want to give you a little blurb. It's so the author brought up to the Dalai Lama how a big part of Western culture is, or a prevalent part is, suicide, self-hate, depression, things of that nature. And when he brought this to Dalai Lama's attention, the Dalai Lama was confused, like, self-hate, why is this so prevalent? Usually, and he spoke that in Buddhism, usually you have to overcome this overbearing nature of self-cherishing, or cherishing yourself too much. So he's like, what do you mean people don't cherish themselves enough in Western world? What? So I'll give you a little blurb about his talk about that. So, but one definition of love, and perhaps the most pure and exalted kind of love, is an utter, absolute, and unqualified unqualified wish for the happiness of another individual. It is a heartfelt wish for others' happiness, regardless of whether he does something to injure us or even whether we like him. Now, deep in our hearts, there's no question that every one of us wants to be happy. So, if our definition of love is based on a genuine wish for someone's happiness, then each of us does in fact love himself or herself. Every one of us has sincerely wishes for his or her own happiness. I thought that was an amazing little paragraph. When I read it, it hit me really hard, and I think it's something we can apply in every life, and those that may be struggling with issues along that nature. So, this probably has been going on for too long, so I will cut this short. Art of Happiness by Dalai Lama. I recommend you pick it up, sit down, read it. It's 315 pages. Definitely worth it. I would say take your time, not binge read it. Definitely sit and, there we go. And really contemplate the topics and try to apply them each day in your life. Use them to control your mind, to foster happiness, and to just have a more fulfilling life. So stay tuned for the next book review. If you liked it, let me know. If you have book suggestions, send them to me either in the comments below, or direct message, text message, Facebook message, however you want. I have a library I go to, and if they don't have it, I'll try to find it somewhere else. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope you go out and pick up this book. It's really helpful. And yeah, peace and blessings, y'all. Oh, also, everyone back home in Florida, I hope you and your family are doing well with Hurricane Matthew. I sincerely hope that everyone is thriving, surviving, and making the most of a really hard situation. So, thoughts and prayers out to that side. I'm home back in Florida. So, alright, y'all. Peace and blessings. Until next time. How do I turn this off? Finish.